Hi, everybody. My name's Rita Crompton, host of Invent America Radio. And we have with us today Kat Crompton. And yes, she is related. So she works with me in the Inventor Lady business and the Inventors Roundtable. But she helps find those good resources. And so when we were talking on the radio the other day, we were talking about scoundrels and how inventors just can get raked over the coals dealing with scoundrels. Right, Cap?
Absolutely.
All right. So when we look at resources for inventors, what do you have to say?
Well, one of the best resources for inventors is actually other inventors. And a great way to be able to interact with other inventors is to go to inventor meetings. If you live in a large metropolitan area, you might be able to find a local group that meets on a regular basis. However, some of those can they tend to have a structure where they have a service provider come in and talk, and they have a set topic each month. What we offer is actually called the Inventors Roundtable, and it is a virtual group. So all of our meetings are done on the internet, and we host those meetings twice a month. And it gives the opportunity to come and actually talk to other inventors and ask your questions and ask them for advice, ask them for recommendations on service providers, who to avoid. And we structure ours a little bit differently. We never have service providers come and give their pitch, and we don't necessarily have set topics we do each month either. It's set up as a roundtable type feel where everybody comes and interacts. Everybody has the opportunity to ask their questions. Everybody has the opportunity to give answers or to give advice. So really, that is one of the best resources available to inventors is other inventors.
You're exactly right. And one of the things that we have found over the 15 years that the Inventors Roundtable has been running is that, a lot of times somebody will say, well, I need someone that can do this. And it's like, oh, I know somebody who can do that. And just the other night, everybody was talking about, their videos for their product. And David said, I used free software and I've got the link and I'll share it with everybody where you can feed a script into the computer and it does a voiceover in any voice you pick. It was very cool. Who would have thought? And we'll get people say, all right, I need packaging. Let me send you here. Let me get you this information. Product liability insurance. Who would have thought? And then all of a sudden somebody finds out they need a $50 million product liability insurance. And we can say, here, call these guys. So for some inventors, the best value they get from going to a meeting virtually is maybe the guy in California talking to the guy in Boston and saying, oh, here, try this.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a big thing that we do like to caution inventors about when they are interacting with service providers, it's really important to remember these are work for hire relationships. You want to make sure that you have your paperwork in place. Make them sign a non-disclosure. Make them sign a work for hire agreement. Make sure all your communication is done in emails so that you have something in writing. And that way, if you have to go back and say, hey, you guys didn't come in on time, you guys didn't meet your objectives, you have record of that, and you have record of exactly what they agreed to. It's the best way to protect yourself because those non-disclosures, those are legally binding documents.
And we recommend you use a non-disclosure, non-compete. So if you're dealing with a company that says, well, we didn't tell anybody, but now they're making the product and, basically using the intellectual property. The non-disclosure, non-compete is really important. And sometimes we actually use a non-disclosure, non-compete, non-circumvent. Some of those companies out there are really crafty in the way they learn to get around an inventor with good intellectual property. So, if you've got any questions, call me and ask me. And, that's just the other night I had somebody calling and goes, you answered the phone. It's like, you were calling me. It was ringing. And he goes, but I didn't expect you to really answer. And it's like, did you want me to hang up? It's amazing how often inventors will call me on a Sunday night or, at odd hours. And they go, you're really there. You're really a person. It's like, yes, I am really a person. I said, they're going to put that phone number on my casket when I die. I'm taking it with me. So the idea, call me, we can share some of those scoundrels out there. It's like, don't call this person. it's amazing how often at the meetings inventors will share with us, and that, we're not going to post it out there because, that's just not the professional way to do it. But if you call me, I am more than happy to share with you some of those scoundrel stories.
Yeah, and beyond that, it's also to share the success stories, because that's one of the big things that we take seriously at the Inventors Roundtable, and that I know you take seriously, is being a resource for inventors out there, giving them good advice, giving them free advice, and giving them good people that they can interact with, that are reliable, that they can depend on, giving them good attorneys they can work with that aren't going to charge them for every email, for every phone call. There are so many ways that inventors get taken advantage of, and one of the best ways to avoid that is, don't just take Google star ratings at their word. Anybody can post one of those, including somebody's mother. So you want to make sure that you're getting quality service providers, and if you're not getting them from a trusted source, it's, anybody could post anything out there. So again, come to a meeting, give the inventor lady a call, make the point to do your due diligence on service providers, because if you don't, it could be such a costly mistake. And we just hate hearing those stories of people that spent so much money and have nothing in return. And the best way to avoid that is to talk to other inventors, talk to us, piggyback off of the experience that the inventor lady has in this field.
And one of the other things that I've learned recently is that, different service providers have different areas of expertise. Ask, and just because one gives you, an answer you don't like, doesn't mean it's all over. It's like, keep in mind, it's like they may have given you an answer you didn't like because they didn't really want to do it, or they couldn't do it, or it wasn't their area of expertise. So they were reaching outside of their sweet spot. Call somebody else. I had a gentleman this afternoon, and he's like, well, I really took my breath away when I got the information. And it's like, and I will send you 2 more service providers, 2 more prototypers, and one of them is going to have this as a sweet spot. Call and ask. It doesn't hurt to call and ask. And he goes, oh my God, he goes, I never even thought of doing that. So that's what we're going to do. And different areas of experience and expertise, different sweet spots, different time frames. Sometimes they're not on the same time frame that the inventor is. Call a different service provider. And when I give out names, I always give out 2. I have more if those 2 don't work. You need to be able to do comparisons. Personalities are different. Sometimes it's like, you just didn't feel comfortable working with that person. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad one. It means they're not the right one for you. Call another one.
There's so many out there, and again, this is important enough that you want to take the time to find somebody you can work with, somebody you can trust, and somebody that is going to give you a good product, something that you're going to walk away with.
Right, exactly. So anyway, this is your invitation. Everyone out there who's got an idea, somebody who has an idea, you are related to someone who has an idea. Give them the name Inventors Roundtable, Inventor Lady, have them get in touch. Join us at our meetings. The meetings are free. Twice a month. One is on Mountain Time, one is on Eastern Time. There's always something there that will fit into your time frame. And it doesn't matter if you are just getting off of work or you've got kids running around the background. Join us. We are happy to have you and answer your questions. And like Kat said, all of our meetings are based on questions that you bring with you when you come to the meeting, and we focus on that, and that's what our topics always are, your questions. Thanks, Kat, for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
And whenever you're logging on and seeing this, and join us for Invent America Radio and the Inventors Roundtable. Thanks.
Thank you.